Okay, I'm going to introduce this recording as Typography class, September 3rd, 2015, and we're working on Project 2, where we're setting typography in different alignments in InDesign. So let's start with the body copy. I'm going to do my Project 1 folder, and I'm going to take the body copy from it because it's the same copy. Now, if you've used a Word document, great. If you haven't and you typed it in Word, well, I would probably, you could either copy and paste it, or I tend to do things industry professional wise. So I'm going to go to my InDesign document here from the previous project, and I am going to open up Word, and I am going to copy and paste the first paragraphs of each of these into the Word document. Now, we all know that 4 clicks gets us the whole paragraph. That's something we've covered before. We also know that Command-C on a Mac is copy. So I'm going to hit Command-C. On a PC, that would be Control-C. Command-C. I go to my Word document. I hit Command-V as in Victor, and we all know that that's paste. On a PC, it would be Control-V, but I'm on a Mac. I'm switching back between InDesign and Word. Now I'm going to go to page 2. 4 clicks on the Baskerville copy. I'm going to copy it, Command-C. I'm going to my Word document, put my cursor in there, click, and hit Command-V. That will be my Baskerville. And I'm going to continue this process until I have all of the paragraphs, or a paragraph, for each of these 5 typefaces. This one's for Bodoni. And this one's, oops, let's do Century Expanded, Century rather. Again, you can hear me maybe do 4 clicks to get those paragraphs, and I'm copying and pasting. Helvetica is usually last in these, so let me make sure that's last. There we go. And then I will oftentimes put a title to this. So I'm going to call this copy, body copy. If I call it copy, it might be confused. You might think, oh, it's a copy of something. So body copy for Project 2. If you're working with editors, this is how they give you stuff. They don't go into InDesign and type something and give it to you that way. Never. Okay? So I'm going to save this, and I'm going to put it in my Project 2 folder, which I've already created. I did that before you guys even came in. So on my desktop, I have my last name, underscore, my first name. I went ahead and put an underscore because that was driving people nuts. And the words project, or the word project and a number 2. That's my folder I'm saving it to. If you don't have a folder yet, you can always hit the new folder button right down here. Create the new folder right there, okay? And then save it in there. So if I hit new folder, I can name a new folder and pop it in there. But again, call it name it your last name, underscore, first name, underscore, then project 2. Okay. I'm going to close Microsoft Word because we do not copy and paste from Word. We got to get out of that habit. Do not get in those kinds of habits. I'm also closing my Project 1 InDesign file because I'm not going to copy and paste from it either. Get out of the habit. I'm just borrowing that text. There we go. There it is. I had another file in there from something I did before you guys came, but there it is. Body copy for Project 2. Now I'm going to open InDesign. And assuming you've set InDesign to open upon login, it should already be ready for you. You don't have to sit here and wait. So if you restart the computer and logged in, InDesign should be open and ready. If you don't remember how to do that, let me know later and I'll make sure you're aware. Okay, so I'm going to create a new document, so I would usually hit Command-N for new, or Control-N on a PC, but Command-N for new on a Mac, but it's also found under File, New, Document. Eventually, I'll stop showing you where this is because we use keyboard shortcuts. Professionals do. And this document should not be facing pages. It is not a book. And I cannot stress enough how you guys need to be aware of that and turn that off. And there are some folks I know who kind of got a little confused on the last project. So turn off facing pages unless you're working on a book or a brochure. This is a letter-sized document, which happens to be 51 picas by 66 picas, if you do the math. And for the columns, I'm going to do 2 columns because in the book it looks like a nice organized little thing of 2 columns. 2 columns go vertical. And the gutter on this, I'm going to go ahead and put it at 3 like we had. Well, let's do 2. That page is much bigger, so I'm going to put a 2 pica gutter. And for my margins, we'll leave it at, we'll put them, let's see, let's put them at, let's leave them at a 1/2 inch, which is 3 picas, because there's 6 picas to 1 inch. So 3 picas at 1/2 inch. Now, I do want to speak to you later when we're doing the Helvetica about the bleed-in slug. So this will be something we'll talk about later. On this particular document, we aren't using bleeds, but I will speak to this later in Helvetica. I can hit preview to see what kind of a document this is going to look like. And that's not the same as hitting OK. It's just like, OK, that's kind of looking all right. The margins in the book look bigger, but we'll start with this. First things first, you should put your name on this. That way when you're printing it, you know who it belongs to. So get you a little type box and draw a little box up there and just type in your name. And you can use whatever font. It really doesn't matter for me on that one. Just make sure your name is up there. And I don't want to work slowly by clicking and dragging this box to the to conform to this, kind of tighten up to this type. What's the, how do we get that to conform real quick? We get this box to tighten up to that type, because this was something Stephen told us and it was fabulous.
Double click on the small box.
Oh yeah, he didn't tell us that. He told us, I'm sorry, Stephen, I'm giving you credit where credit is due on another thing. Yeah, this was a double click. I'm sorry, that was a Stephen thing, but it was a double click on one of the nodes, preferably a corner node, and it tightens right up. Stephen's trick was holding down Command while we clicked and dragged on nodes so it would conform. So this was a slightly different thing. Okay, so my name's up there. I know you can't see it very well, but I'll zoom in. There you go. All right, and he's out in the margin area. Okay, now I'm ready to place text. But these are 4 different text boxes. And I'm not going to draw 4 different text boxes right off the bat. I'm going to go get the text, and I'm going to then draw, I'll import it, and I'll go from there. So to get the text, it's actually File and Place, which the keyboard shortcut is Command D. I don't know what to tell you for a mnemonic device on that one. Document. Go get the document. But it also is go get the image. So if we were placing an image, we'd use Command D as well. So File, Place. Now I have to go find the folder that I have for Project 2, and if I remember how I've named things, it shouldn't take me long to find it. If the folder is called Untitled, and you have 20 untitled folders in there, one's Untitled 1, and one is Untitled 2, and the other one's Untitled 3, you're going to be here all day trying to find it, and that's very inefficient. So name your file something you recognize so that you can work efficiently. So I double-clicked on that folder. I'm clicking on the body copy. I can double-click on this. Double-clicking on it is, in essence, the same as clicking on this and hitting Open. Okay? Or I can click on it and hit Return. But I'm just going to double-click because I'm already on the mouse anyway. And now I have my loaded cursor. This is something you've seen before. If I click in the upper left-hand corner, you'll see it'll automatically bring in all of that text, with the exception of the Helvetica, which is not completely cooperating at the bottom. There's more text there. Now, I do not need this title right here, so I'm going to delete that. That's just not necessary. Yeah, Richard, what's up? No, it's okay. You can ask questions during the
presentation. That's what that Zoom shortcut was again.
Oh, the Zoom shortcut. If you are in a text, if you're, well, let's see here, Command Z. Nope. I'm sorry, that's undo, of course. Whoa, I'm getting crazy here. Hold on. La 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 la. Let's reduce a couple things here. There we go. Basically, I went to the Zoom tool, which if you're not in the text box, you hit Z. If you're in a text box, it'll type Z. And I clicked and dragged over the area I knew I was going to affect. like a little box over that, and it will snap right to that area. That is a huge time saver. Okay? That's the zoom tool, which is a little magnifying glass. Click and drag over the area you want to zoom into. It's different than Photoshop. Photoshop by default has the scrubby zoom turned on, which I can't stand, so I always turn it off. I always use my zoom tool in this fashion. Now, guys, I have, because I have really built some bad habits over my lifetime, and I know Stephen has shared with us a couple of good habits. Could you remind me when I'm not using command to do the special thing so that I can make sure it starts to stick? So please help me with that if you guys don't mind. Okay. So we got rid of that. And now we're ready to, I wouldn't even make 4 text boxes yet. I wouldn't do that yet. Let's just assume that this text box is going to be for Garamond alone. We're not going to pay attention to the rest of the text. It's there, but we're not going to pay attention to it. Let me zoom in. I'm going to get my type tool, and I'm going to do 4 clicks on that Garamond text. Oh my gosh, since I copied it from my, oh, that's so nice. I copied it from my original InDesign document to Word, and my fonts were loaded. It's behaving nicely, and it took the font. Oh, fabulous. But let's make sure, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you have any blanks, I don't have any blanks here, that's good. Then we have to maybe fix a couple things. But there's no blank in the name of the font or the style or the point size or letting. Now, according to the book, they want Garamond to be 11/15 at 13 picas wide. This shouldn't be difficult. I wish I could make this bigger, but I can't. So up here in the point size, I double click on that, or triple click if you want. Double click will give you the number. I'm like, okay, this was 11. I hit the tab key to go to the next field. This was 15. And this was 13 picas wide, justified. Now, it looks like it's already justified because Microsoft Word must have done that. And where do we find justified? Well, justified, flush left, drag right, all that stuff is right here in the the character control panel. You notice how they look similar to what I drew on the board? Little lines that were, yeah, that's no coincidence. If you're in your paragraph formatting controls, they're also here, but they're way closer to the left, okay? The nice thing is they're there. Just depends on if you're in the character controls or the paragraph controls. Now, I have a keyboard shortcut for each of these controls. I don't even have to go up there. Okay, listen carefully, take note. You guys want to work smarter, not harder. If this is, let's say this text was supposed to be flush left, ragged right. Here's the keyboard shortcut for flush left. I just did it. I'm not going to tell you. I want you guys to love this before I give you the answer. Here's for flush right. See that? Here's centered. Here's justified. You guys want that, don't you?
I want it.
You want it. I got it. $10. No. It's easy, guys. The hardest part is remembering which 2 weird keys that you have to hold down. The 2 weird keys that you'll have a hard time remembering are Shift and Command. Shift and Command, J for justified, L for left align. Guess what it is for right align? R. Guess what it is for centered? Yep. So, Shift Command, on a PC this would be Shift Control. Shift Command L, Shift Command R, Shift Command C, or Shift Command J. That sure beats the heck out of taking that mouse and traveling up here and trying to find them and put a little, click on them. That right there alone is worth the money you paid for this class today, which on average is about $20 per class that we meet. That was worth $20 right there. How many of you guys already knew that?
I did not know that.
Oh, see, it's worth $20 you paid for class today.
What was the centered one? Just C?
C, yeah. David's liking this. He's going, I can work a lot faster on this menu design I'm working on.
Oh,
Okay? And I still need to sit with you. Is that today?
yeah. Yeah, it's today, but I forgot I'm actually leaving like right
Okay,
after.
we'll do it another time.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this was justified, so it already was. But if it's not, Shift Command J. All right, yay! I could go here. Let me be like an old person and don't know how to use the computer and go up here and go click. Oh, God, that was forever. I shouldn't make fun of old people. I am an old person, so.
That's what I was doing.
Yeah, I know. You're an old person, aren't you? You're an old person trapped in a young person's body.
I'm a grandpa.
We all are. We're all, guys, we're all ignorant in our own special sweet ways, aren't we? Now you're not. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. Oh, no, we can't, because this text box needs to be how many picas wide? It said 13. Now, I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to go, and this is with the selection tool. Now, what was the thing I could do? Okay. I'm going to have to call on Stephen, because I'm having a hard time remembering. Stephen, was there a way if I were in the type tool to just go ahead and switch up to the black arrow tool? Was it escape? No. Was it V? No, I can't do V. It'll type a V. Oh, well, I'm going to go up there and click. We'll figure that out. There was something. I can't remember.
It's not command.
Well, I don't know. We'll tackle that another time. Okay, so right now the width on this is 21.5 picas, but that's supposed to be 13, so I triple click in there, I type it. Now we'll take a triple click, because if you double click, it'll only grab, oh no, it'll do, oh, I lied. Double click will grab it all too. Type in 13, hit the tab key, so it goes, oh wow, that's a very small pair. Ooh, that's not good looking. But that's what it says. That doesn't look like what it says, what it shows in the book at all. Now I'm going to zoom out a little bit. This is Command minus. See that? Whoa, hello, goodbye. Command plus is zoom in. And if you, assuming you're not inside a type box with your cursor blinking, you can hold down the space bar and you can use stop. It's acting horrible. In theory and in practice, you should be able to hold the space bar. It turns into a hand. There we go. It's finally acting right. You can move this around if it's not exactly where you want it to be, okay? So this is assuming you're not, if your cursor's in here and you start hitting the space bar, what's going to happen? You're going to get a lot of spaces. Oh, this isn't working. What's wrong? Yeah, don't do that. You have to be on the black arrow tool. Oh, I think this was what, Shift Command? Oh, this is the one. This is the one. This is the one Steven said. He said, hold on, Shift and Command. Oh, no, that's just to move that. Darn it. Okay, get the black arrow tool and hold down the space bar. We'll figure it out. We got to figure out these cool shortcuts. Was it escape? Yeah. Okay. But space bar lets you move things around. Okay. Now I'm going to hit Command 0, not Command O. Command O means open another InDesign document. Command 0 means zoom all the way out so I can see the whole page. That's in every Adobe product. Photoshop, InDesign, Illustrator, all that. Command 0, just snap it right to my window size. Okay, now I'm going to move this so it looks like it's centered to this column because that's nice and tidy. Watch what happens when I move it and it hits center. Oh, a little pink line pops up. It says, hey, you can stop now. There's center. You see that little pink line? Ooh, right there. Nice. I don't have to guess. Now, we know Baskerville and Bodoni, they're going to be in different text boxes because they have different widths. You can't have one text box be different widths. So what we're going to do here is we are going to, now I can't double click on this and have it sneak up here and snap shut here on Garamond because it doesn't recognize that as the end of the text. That's the end of a paragraph, not the end of all the text. So I'm actually going to pull the window shade or the anchor point up. I like to call it a window shade because it looks like I'm closing a window. Okay, so I pull that up so that only the Garamond paragraph is showing. It looks like the next setting is flush left, ragged right. That would be for Baskerville, and according to the book, they want it over here on the upper right. Okay, so I am going to click on the little red plus sign because that is going to reload my cursor with the next bit of text that's in that document that came in. So I'm going to click on the little plus sign. Let me zoom in just a little bit. That plus sign is not going to get any bigger, by the way, when I zoom in. It stays pretty small. So with the black arrow tool, the the selection tool, I'm clicking on the plus sign, I'm getting my loaded cursor, and I go, bink, right up there in the upper right-hand column. And yep, there it all comes in. I know I don't want all of it, but it's about the whole story here. We got to get used to linking text boxes and having them flow for later projects. Now, with the black arrow tool, if I need to get to the type tool, I could go over here with my mouse and go click on the T tool. But what do you think the keyboard shortcut is for the T tool? T, yeah. Oh, look, now I'm on the type tool.
So you just said T, that's it?
Mm-hmm.
Just T.
Just T. Now, another thing you can do if you're a clicker, if you're a click-happy person, is just with the black arrow tool, which is called the selection tool, if you double-click on the text box, it turns into the type tool and puts the cursor wherever you're clicking. Okay? That's even shorter than going, oh, well, here's I have this selected, and I'm going to hit T, and now I'm going to click on this. Okay? That's 3 steps. If we're working smarter, we have selected with the black arrow tool, we double-click, and then we, 1, 2, 3, 4, we got the paragraph. We didn't have to go to the type tool. It knew that when you double-click on a text box with the selection tool, the black arrow tool, it knows when you double-click on that, it'll turn it to a text tool. Okay? So I'm sharing with you the long way, the kind of shortcut way, and then the shortest way. Now, this is saying that this is Baskerville 11/13. Uh-oh, you see right here? Something's wrong. See that right there? That's blank. We must have a hidden character that is a different style. They're all the same font or typeface name, but something is out of whack here. Now, before I go crazy, let me look at this. I don't want to go nuts yet. Oh, it's supposed to be. Look at this statement right here. It's italics. It's supposed to be italics because that's how it was set in the book. But now or inclined, if I click on it and drag and even get that invisible character, you'll see, oh, inclined. And if I click on the previous bunch of statements here, it will say upright. Sometimes that's a problem and sometimes it's not. You just have to open your eyes and look for the different, oh, there's a bold thing in there. Oh, there's an italic thing in there. If I do 4 clicks, it goes, hey, I'm confused because you have both a regular and an incline in here. So it just leaves it blank. Sometimes that's a problem. In this case, it is not.
It was supposed to be italic.
Yes, it is. Okay. What did we say this was? 11/13. Super, super simple. Again, we're up here, triple click. It's already 11, so I don't have to do anything. Hit the tab key, go to the next thing, type in 13. And the width of the text box is 20 picas. That's a whopper. I wonder what this is going to look like. This is going to be crazy. I'm going to zoom out, and I'm going to tell this to be the width, 20 picas. Oh, it shouldn't be too bad. It's already at 21. 20 picas. Now, it knows we're in picas. I can just hit 20. I don't have to type a P. Okay, there it is. And it also told me, let me get this paragraph again. It told me that this was flush left, ragged right. I'm not even going to listen to ragged right. Flush left. What's the keyboard shortcut? Shift Command L. Shift Command L. Okay, done. Or I go, taking my time, going up here, clicking on that thing right there. I don't have all day, folks. Don't waste your precious time. Do not waste your precious time. If there's one piece of advice I can give you for your entire life is do not waste your precious time. You are not here on this planet very long. And this is not fun. It's a necessity of the tools that we use to have fun in doing design, but this is not fun. Don't waste your time on this stuff. Do it as quickly as you can. Okay. Now, you notice I clicked on it, I moved it, and I saw that little line again. Oh, look at that. Oh, it tells me when to stop. Thank you, InDesign. Now, if you don't see the little pink line, that means that feature is not turned on. Now, the pink line will turn off as soon as I let go. If you don't see that helpful little thing, let me share with you where to find it so you can turn it off and on as you see fit. That's under View, And it is it Smart Guides? Let me find out. Let me see if it'll do it. Yep, that's Smart Guides, because now it's not doing it. Sometimes I can't remember stuff. I don't go there very often. So I'm going to go back to View and Grids and Guides and turn my Smart Guides on. Oh, there's a keyboard shortcut. Okay, if you use them a lot, it'd be Command U, but I don't use it a lot, so I don't have that committed to memory. Smart Guides. Okay, now when I go click and start moving, oh, they're back now. Thank you. Smart Guides are fabulous, but when they're not fabulous and you don't want them getting in the way, I have times when I don't want them. I'm like, get off of here, you're annoying me, and I'll turn them off. Command U or go to View. Again, that's View, Guides and Grids, turn on and off Smart Guides. Okay? So it was a 20 pica wide, flush left, rag right, Baskerville 11/13. All right, I'm going to window shade pull this one up. I can't use my command key for that because there's more text. Oops, make that nicer. Okay, now I really think this would look beautiful if this were more centered to this Garamond paragraph. So watch what happens when I start pulling it down. It will tell me when I'm centered to the Garamond paragraph. Oh, look, the little green guy. You see that? That's another Smart Guide. Oh, it says let go. Okay, it's perfectly centered to that to the Garamond paragraph. I do not have to guess. It does it for me.
What'd you do?
I just clicked and dragged it until it went green, and it said, hey, that's center. And make sure, with my mouse, clicked and dragged it with my mouse. Make sure both your center one shows up and your horizontal one shows up. I'm like, okay, that's good, thanks. Thanks, InDesign. You know my life is valuable as well, because you know I don't have time to mess with you. Guys, you can do things absolutely perfectly. There's no excuse to not have things perfectly managed. Not when you got these kinds of tools. Okay, the next one is going to be Bodoni. And it looks like Bodoni is going to be flush right, rag left. And that looks like it's supposed to be going down here in the lower left area of the page. According to what I'm seeing in the book, even though that's not exactly right. Now, of course, I need to reload my cursor, so I'm going to click on the little plus sign here. Oops, try again. Oh, try again. There we go. Sometimes it doesn't like to get clicked on. Took me 3 times that time. Maybe I should have zoomed in.
You double click?
Oh, try not to double click too much, because I clicked and nothing happened. So then I don't get too click happy. I'm like, okay, nothing happened. Let me click again. I'm kind of slow on these clicks. Because if you're fast on these clicks, you'll end up, God, it gets crazy if you get too clicky happy here. Because you'll click and then it'll load and you'll click again and all of a sudden it'll dump it somewhere where you don't want it to go and it'll just be like, oh, horrible. Just hit Command Z. Okay, so I reload the cursor. And, you know, if you're zoomed out, sometimes it's hard to click exactly on the right spot, too. So this is part of the problem. I like to zoom in when I'm working. So I've got my loaded cursor, and I'm going to click down here somewhere. Okay, there it is. I'm not worried about everything below it. I'm going to get my, I don't have to hit T for my type tool or even go over this way. That's just too much traveling. Double click. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4 clicks. I got the whole paragraph. Oh my gosh, this is becoming easier and easier every day, isn't it? And this is Bodoni, and it is 12/16. Okay, I'm going to triple click here. 12, hit the tab key, 16. And it is flush right, lag left. Okay, Shift Command R. Okay, I'm almost done with that one. Look at that. Do. Guys, I really should have this thing done in 2 minutes if I weren't trying to tell you how to do it. If I didn't have to teach you and just had to do it, it would be a 2-minute job for me. If that. Not that I'm bragging, it's just that's how easy it gets. Okay, let's move that up. Crowd out that other stuff. Like, well, let's see. It's already centered to that. Oh, we have to get, what column width is this? Bodoni says 18 picas. Okay, let's type in 18 up here for the width. It's tab key. Oh, he's not looking too good anymore. Let me center him to there. Okay, great. Let me do this. Oh, nope. There we go. Crowd out the other stuff. See, I just popped them right. I'm like, get out of here. You don't belong in my box. Get out.
Are those linked? Okay.
Yeah, everything's linked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was talking about the 18. My box wasn't linked.
Actually,
Or the
yeah.
width and the height.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. So I got 18 picas. Oh, the height. Don't link this thing right here. No.
No? Okay.
Oh, that guy right there. No, because he'll make it 18 by 18 and it'll start crowding your text out and stuff. Yeah.
Width is just 18. And
Width
the
is
height
18. Height is whatever it takes to.
Oh, okay.
Whatever it takes to crowd out century text.
Okay, so.
Yeah, I'm not too
all
particular
other
about the
ones
height.
are fine.
Yeah, we're not really we don't care as much about the height as we do the width. Gosh, guys, I told you this wouldn't take us very long. Now I'm going to click on the little plus sign, and I'm going to load it again over here. Wait, it's not the last one, it's the fourth one. It's Century. And Century, bing, 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 bing. There we go. 10/16, okay, 10/16, no problem. 10 tab 16, and it is supposed to be centered. Shift Command C. Oops, it doesn't like that. What's going on? Okay, let's try it again. There we go. 10/16 Century, yeah. And the width is 24 picas. So I gotta go up here with the black arrow tool and say 24 picas. Oh, he's a whopper wide one. Move him over, center him, kinda. Get rid of Helvetica. Actually, guys, we're gonna delete Helvetica. He's on a whole different page. So when you get Helvetica, copy him and then open a new document and paste him. Okay, so we'll copy him, and then we'll hit that's Command C, and we cut. Actually, you didn't even have to hit Command C. We're gonna cut him.
Yeah.
Cutting him copies and deletes him at the same time. So Command X, get rid of that extra. If there's an extra blinky down there like this, get rid of those extra spaces. You should never have extra spaces at the end of stuff. And I'm gonna double check my work. Let me. Oh, this is that thing I can do oh yeah. Steven said. Sorry, I'm doing that thing again. Kind of. Well, I just hit Command and double clicked on that little thing and it went bing right up in there. I'm like, yay. Okay, and I'm going to pull this down so it nicely aligns to his neighbor. That green bar shows up, and it's nicely aligned center too because it had the purple bar showing up. So yay! Isn't that lovely? Now let me hit the W key. I'm like, ooh, it's kind of lovely, but let's take all of this and move it down. You're like, how do you do that so quickly? I know. It's fabulous.
What are you doing?
I know. What am I doing? Look at that. Isn't that fabulous? Let's grab those and go like this. That's nice. They're still aligned. Okay, maybe I'll take these guys and move them up just a little bit. We gotta be about proper balance here.
Hitting arrow keys?
Yeah, do all sorts of fun stuff. Okay, let me show you what I'm doing here. Because you're going, wow, how is she moving that so quick? You know, how is she moving them in such great increments? Okay, so I hit the W key on accident, and if you're assuming you're not in a text box and your cursor is blinking, W is what you see is what you get when you print. This would be your print preview. Print preview. It doesn't show you your bounding boxes of your text boxes. It doesn't show your grid or anything. If you're just like, man, that stuff is just messing with my head and noising up my life, hit the W key, assuming you're not inside of a text box. It'll type a W if you are. Hit the W key and it will toggle between print preview and your working preview with grids and stuff. Okay, that was an accident. Didn't mean to do that. But since I did, I'll tell you how I got that. And if you can't remember W, I think what you see is what you get, W. But if you can't remember that, the long way is over here on the toolbar. I like to make my toolbar 2 columns, like so. When you click on the double arrows like this, there you go. Oops, no, I don't like that. There we go. But right here, I click on preview, hold down, oh god, or this, normal, preview, normal, preview, normal, preview. Yeah, I don't want to do that. W, 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 W. There you go.
How far did you want the
Oh, it just needs to look good.
boxes to come?
Just make it look balanced.
Oh, okay.
I don't even like my name over there. I think it looked better over here. Oh, thank you, yes. Now I got to move this down a little bit. Like, okay, that feels better.
Arrow keys?
Yeah, let me show you. Let me tell you what I'm doing now that I'm driving you guys nuts.
I know.
Like, what are you doing, lady? Okay, so what I'm doing is, let me hit the W key again so you can see. I can select all, or I can, like my name, I was like, maybe he goes with it, maybe he doesn't. If I do select all, this is with the black arrow key. Select all is Command A on a Mac. It's Control A, or rather, on a PC. Now, the reason why I hit the W key, because I don't want to see the grid. It's in my way. I subconsciously hit it. I thought I did it on accident. I'm so used to hitting it. But it shows me, is this good balance to the entire composition? Now, I did use the arrow keys on the keyboard, but I held down the Shift key so it would move in fairly large increments. Okay, it moves, I believe, 10 points at a time instead of 1 point at a time, which will take for freaking ever. So Shift and arrow up or down. Okay.
That's awesome.
If I only want 2 text boxes, your black arrow tool, which is your selection tool, it is contact sensitive. Don't click on a type box because you're going to get this. Oh, oops, I didn't want to do that. Click outside of a type box and drag over the ones you want to affect. It is contact sensitive. Anything it comes in contact with, it gets. Then I hold that shift key and I arrow up or down to get my better position for balance. Okay? That's how I did that. And to grab all of them but my name, I again clicked and drug over and touched all 4 of them. I don't have to gobble them all up. They just have to be touched. And I can move them around to balance out my layout. If you don't want large increments and you're just kind of fine-tuning it, let off the shift key and use your arrow key to move them up or down. I'm not moving them to the left or right because you can see that these were aligned to the grid, and I don't want to screw that up. Okay? So I'm going to save that. I should probably call this Bilbrey _ Rebecca _ Project 2. Part 1. Because there's 2 parts. We got Helvetica.
Oh.
Yes, David.
So those purple lines on the InDesign program, is that just so it helps you to center everything? Is that all it's for?
And it's most of the time, like on our previous project, most of the time what we use those for, it is, in this case, we're using it to center. But most of the time we're using it to actually position our text. Oops, I got to get this back to where it was. Pardon me. Don't pay attention to what I'm doing for a moment. Most of the time we use it to position our text so that it perfectly snaps within those. So they actually go from pink line to pink line. We are not using the grid quite the way it's meant to be used in this particular project. And grids are extremely crucial to this world that you guys are getting into, where you normally want to have text boxes that are the small copy, the body copy, lining to the grid. So it should look a little bit more organized like this. Okay? This is just an odd sort of thing here. But it's still fairly well organized, all things considered. Okay, so I saved that. And now I'm ready to move to Helvetica. Gosh, I'm almost done with my homework. Now, Helvetica is going to take you the longest, folks, because you're dealing with aesthetics and there's it's not, it's lots of different text boxes. Now, it still is in the computer's mind that I had copied that Helvetica text. I haven't copied anything else since then. So it's still in the computer's mind that that's the last thing I copied. So I'm going to create a new document. And the reason why, I believe last semester we did figure out that you can create 2 different pages in InDesign that are different sizes, but we're not going to do that because that will be really confusing to print. Yeah, that's wacky. So we're going to create a brand new document. So this is File, New Document. And this one is not letter. It is not facing pages. Again, no facing pages, folks. No facing pages. This is not letter. Let me go. I'm making sure. I wrote down 10.5, but that was just because I thought, I'm hoping my mind works. But let me look and make sure that it is indeed 10.5. Type arrangements, 50 points. Let's see. Yes, Helvetica. Let's see. We know Garamond, Baskerville, Bodoni are 8.5 by 11. Helvetica is a 10.5 by 10.5. Okay. Making sure I'm not giving the wrong information. So this is in picas, and I don't necessarily want you guys to have to do the mathematics. 10.5 inches is how many picas? I don't want you to do the mathematics, but yeah, now I'm asking you. 10.5 inches is how many picas?
12 picas per inch.
Okay. Oh, wait. Let's just start out with the 10 part first.
70.
10 inches is how many picas? 6 picas in an inch. 10 inches is how many picas? 6 picas in an inch. 60. There's the easy part. 60. Wait, no. That's plus a half an inch. How many picas are half an inch?
3.
Right, so we're at 63 picas. But who wants to do that? Not me. Watch this one, folks. Watch this magic. You just got to know how to tell. You got to know how to massage this whole situation. You put 10.5 IN, and you don't even have to put the space, but I'm such a grammatical weirdo, I have to put the space. And it will automatically convert that to 63 picas. Yes, we were right. And then, of course, 10.5 IN. There's no little linking button there that tells us, hey, the little chain, it doesn't have it right here. 63 picas by 63 picas is equivalent to 10.5 by 10.5. Columns, I don't care. This is a completely random layout. You don't want the columns. This is unrestricted. Okay, columns give you organization and alignment. This is all about freedom. Kind of organized chaos. Organized chaos. Margins, if it's body copy, unless I'm David Carson, I'm probably not going to put my body copy to the edge. So a 1/2 inch margin is not bad. That pink line there, it kind of tells me, hey, small little type, don't go past that. Bleed and slug. Let's take a look at this for the first time in our lives. Oh, there's a little arrow. Let's open it. See that? Don't worry about slug. Slug is a place where you kind of put some extra special instructions to your printer that you actually want printed on the paper. It's not something when it's cut out anybody will see. It's just really specific instructions. Sometimes we have some really crazy stuff going on in printing, like foils and aqueous plastic coatings and embossing and certain spot colors, special things. So that slug area is for that. So we're not worried about the slug area. The bleed area, however, is when we want a big giant H going off the side, and when it goes to get cut, we don't want it to be, a problem. We want it to have enough room for error if we cut slightly off. So your bleed is 1/8 of an inch. But you're like, oh no, what's 1/8 of an inch in picas? Well, 1/8 of an inch, there are no picas. I know what it is not because I'm doing the mathematics, it's just because I see it all the time. So I'm going to type in the inches equivalent, because most of you guys probably understand 1/8 of an inch in a decimal point. And if not, it's 0.125 IN, okay? We know what a quarter is. It's 0.25 IN. And for those of you guys who are from other countries that use a metric system, which is so much easier to use, and we still are so stubborn we don't adopt it, I'm sorry. We have to deal with this kind of stuff. So if you type in 0.125 IN, which is 1/8 of an inch, it's equivalent to 9 points, just so you know. It's not even a full pica. And how do I know? Because it told me so. When I hit the tab key, it puts in 0 picas, 9 points, 0p9. I did not do the mathematics. It's just I've typed that in, and that's what it gives me, so I know that's 1/8 of an inch. I'm not that ambitious. Okay. Now look, I have the preview selected right here. Look what it did. That red line was not there before. That red line indicates that if you have any elements going off the edge of the page, they need to go at least to the red line. That's called a bleed. That's going to get cut off, but it needs to go that far out. If it doesn't, when I go to trim it out, if you only pull it to the black line, I go to trim it out and I'm slightly off, there'll be a little white hair, just a little piece of where there's no ink, and it looks really awful. You just have this little white hairline. It's like, oh, is that part of your design? Did you intend that? No. I forgot to pull my bleeds. Okay? Just because you tell it there's a bleed, you have to manually pull the bleeds too. You have to push it out there. Okay, so we've got this ready to go. It's 10 inches by 10 inches, which is 63 pica by 63 pica. Margins are set at 1/2 inch, that's fine. And we set a bleed at 1/8 of an inch, which is equivalent to P9. I'm hitting OK. It still remembers what I copied, even though because I haven't copied anything since. So I'm going to get my type tool, and I'm going to do this out in the pasteboard because I will. I'll probably be doing some. I'm not. I don't want to link up all these text boxes. You know how we linked up the 4 text boxes on the other one? Let me show you what I mean by that. Like, these are linked, meaning if I shorten this, his text is going to go in that next box. Ooh, okay, don't shorten it then. Okay, that's linked text. Well, that will be a freaking nightmare here because we're going to have all these different text boxes for every single line, and I'm not going to link them. There's no reason to. So I'm going to get my type tool, and I'm going to just draw a box out into the pasteboard. That's the gray area. And I'm going to go to Edit and Paste, and here comes the Helvetica text. See, I remember. Now, if I had gone to Facebook and played around with something and copied something between doing my first InDesign document here that I just did with all the 4 boxes and this one, and copy something, if I go to paste, it's going to paste to whatever I copied most recently. So it might paste something you didn't want it to. Okay, so we know the headline is going to be Helvetica. I'm going to zoom in here. I'm going to steal the word Helvetica. 1, 2 clicks, there it is. Copy it, zoom out. So I hit Command-C and I hit Command-0. That's how quick I am. And I'm going to draw a text box here and hit Command-V. And if I hold down the Command key and double-click on one of these nodes, bing, bing, it shrinks to fit that box Helvetica. Look how quickly you can work. So much more quickly than what you ever thought was possible. Now let's say I want to make this really big. I don't have all day, and neither do you. Let me zoom in so we can even see that that's Helvetica. There we go. So I have the selection tool. Okay, there we go. Yeah. And I am going to hold down Shift and Command. And I am going to click on one of these nodes. I'm going to hold and wait for just a second, and then I'm going to start dragging. I've talked about this before, have I not? And I can watch this live in action getting larger. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't, I can't remember. Just like that, I made Helvetica go from little to big. If you don't click and wait, you get a box, the bounding box, but you don't get to see the type move live. I like to see the type moving live because just because the bounding box looks like it goes to the edge of the type, it clearly does not. And if I want my A to go right to, let me get over here, go A right to that edge, as close as I can. There we go. The bounding box is actually a little past that. And oh, look at the H. Huh, he's not even close. That's because each letter has a set width, and the set width includes a little bit of space around it so the letters don't smush each other. They're not sitting right on each other. Okay. So the keyboard shortcut for that, again, on a Mac is Shift and Command, and you can click on any node. It doesn't matter if it's a center one. If you do the center, you're going to move it towards the center. See, center from the center out. On a PC, this would be Shift Command, or Shift Control. Pardon me, Shift Control on a PC. Click and drag. Now that's not very random. Maybe I take. Let's see. We break things in syllables in this in our language here. Maybe I take Helvetica. Now this I do have to click and drag. It's not a whole word. So I have to click and drag, and I'm going to cut that. That's Command X. Get the Command tool, double click on the little node, get HEL in his own little box. I'm going to draw another box and paste Helvetica. Again, holding the Command key down, double clicking on the little box, so it does that. Guys, if you don't do that and you have all these big whopper boxes like this, let me show you the problem by not doing this. You have all these like this. You're like, oh, okay, I want to put this right here. And you're like, oh, I want to click on the Helvetica part, the HEL. I can't get it. I can't get to it. Ah! You're like clicking out here. Maybe you had something out here, like a little bitty piece of text right here. You're like, okay, here's my little piece of text right here. It goes right there. Okay, hold on just a second. And you keep trying to click on it. You're like, I can't get to it. It's because you got all these big whoppers out here, and you need to get some control over yourself. And now when you do that, you can move things around a lot quicker. Okay, get some control over yourself. I might rotate this up. I think I'll go up. I could sit here and click and drag all day long, but I don't have time for that. Do you guys have time for this? And I don't even know when I'm at the 90 degrees. If I hold down the Shift key, I'll know. Oh, there, let me know. All right, great. I don't even have time for that. Look, there's a rotation button right here. Hey, rotate 90 degrees, thanks, okay. Now, you notice how it popped up way up there? Like, wait, no, you're way up there. Why did you do that? Well, that is the reference point acting up there. If you don't like when you hit something and it goes almost off the page like that, change the reference point to center, and it'll rotate off of its center, and you'll get a little bit more control over the thing. So that reference point thing, we all ignore it. We don't even know it's there. We don't know what it's for, but that's what that's for. Okay, now you know. Reference point, Photoshop, Illustrator especially. I use it a lot in Illustrator and InDesign.
It's in Photoshop too?
Maybe. Maybe not. I can't remember. I definitely industry. That's InDesign and Illustrator together. But in both InDesign and Illustrator, it's in there. I'm going to move this down here. I'm going to make it big. Wow, that's really big. I know. And I'm going to bleed it right off the edge. Yeah, look at me. I'm bleeding. Sounds horrible. Helvetica, you're coming over here. Helvetica. And I'm going to have you line, even though it says random, I'm aligning my V to my H like that, and I'm using the arrow key just to get it right. I'm going to hit the W key so I can see what's going on. Like, yep, that says Helvetica, folks. And that is random.
Very.
Okay?
I like it.
I have the Helvetica.
Don't do yours like mine.
Helvetica, it's thin.
Well, then, if you want a fat Helvetica, just
Or
triple click on that dude and come up here to the style and go, give me something heavy. And you're like, hey, he disappeared. I know, because he's so heavy, that text box is too small. So let's hit the command key. Oh, no, let's just click and drag and go, oh, there you are, you pretty thing. And you just move him up so he works. So is that what you're saying? Your style is just way too thin?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, my style was not as thin as yours, but now I'm going crazy. Guys, use different styles. Wow, that's really cool. I like big and bold, and I'm going to make it bleed like no tomorrow. You bleedy thing. That looks kind of too chopped up. I'm going to be really careful with that. I need to hit the W key and see where my bleeds are. I'm getting crazy. So you may have to hit the W key here and there because what you see is what you get. You can't tell when all the lines are there. You know what? Helvetica's going to go crazy too. I'm just going nuts. Let's bleed day. Can you still read it? Absolutely. In fact, this drives me nuts. This is an awkward point of tension right there. You don't do that. No. Let's take this and let's make it even bigger and let's have it go right there.
Yeah, I like it.
You gotta scratch that itch just right, folks. Otherwise, it looks like everybody's going, oh, I want to itch that. I want to scratch it so bad. On critique, they're like, oh, I just want to move that. You know, everybody's just dying to go scratch that itch. It's a visual itch. Now I'm like, that is not right. Ugh. See that right there? Ugh. You guys are like, Rebecca, please, you are so OCD and anal retentive and whatever. Well, good, I'm glad. Because that's what I need to be. Because that looks better.
It does look better.
It's all about the attention to details. So that's a nice random thing. Now, yours should not look exactly like mine. This is mine. I will sue you for intellectual property stealing. Okay, I will not, but yours should look different than mine. Okay, I'm gonna hit the W key. See all this text out here? I'm not gonna just simply do this and go, oh, let's call it a day. This is fabulous. That is not random, even though it does look pretty sexy. In fact, I might even, for me, I do it like this. I'm like, does that visually, optically align well to this point right here? Not quite. If this were not random, I'd be like, okay, it aligns pretty well optically there and there. Now, oh, but then I'll align it right here. You see, I do it by eye. Like, oh, yeah, that's, now, but this is, okay, right there, it lines there, there, and there. This is the secret of using a grid without using a grid, is you look at points of alignment that, you know, be cognizant of where things are juxtaposed in relation to other things. That aligns to that, and this, ignore these lines for just a second, this edge optically aligns to that, and that edge optically aligns to that. Pay me!
Yeah.
Why do I make big bucks and can work so fast? Because I'm looking for really great points of alignment, even if it's a random point of alignment. This does not even, there's no grid. Okay? Pay attention, because cognizant of every element around you. I'm not even looking at them as letter forms. I'm looking at them as just things, shapes. I'm not even reading it. For all I care, these could be just circles and squares. I really don't care. I'm just trying to get a nice point of alignment. Okay, but that is not what this is about. This is about completely random. You're like, oh, great. Okay, well, I'm going to try to break for sense, too. After this, we're going to take a break. Speaking of breaking for sense. So I'm going to try to, I'm going to hit this guy so I can see how far I can go there. Okay. Helvetica switch origin. Oh, you know what? I'm going to break right there. Oh, it's justified. Oh, you booger. Oh, justified copy. It messes with you. Watch. I thought I'd crowd that although out there. Watch. Oh, wait. What's happening here? What, shouldn't there be more words coming up there? Watch. I'm going to crowd although out. Look, get out of here, although. Oops. There. I can't do this. Oh, wait, how did he get that? Wait, I just tried to crowd him out. When your type is a justified setting, justification means both flush left and flush right. It will add extra spaces between words. Sometimes it's real awkward looking. And sometimes words will not flow to the next line. So let me try Shift Command L for left align, and we'll see if I can crowd that little booger right out there. Yep, done. Okay. And I'm going to crowd this out too. Bink. I am not going to copy and paste. This is going to actually be quicker if I click on this little red guy and go, okay, my next line is going to go right here. Okay, and what's it is going to say? Although typefaces without serifs were used in the 19th century, that breaks for sense right there. Guys, break for sense. Don't make people hang out there in the middle of a statement where they're like, oh, and you ever read something and you're reading it out loud and it hangs out there in the middle of something and your mind's going, oh, it must mean this, and you get to the next line and you start reading, you're like, oh, damn, it didn't mean that at all. And now you sound like you don't know how to read. I hate that. They haven't broken for sense. When you break for sense, you don't make people look like idiots when they're reading. And when you're reading, it just flows naturally. Break for sense. Okay, so that breaks nicely. Let's see what the next thing is. It was not until the 20th century that it became popular. Okay, break for sense. That's not aligning, that's not aligning, that's aligning. Okay, nothing's aligning. See, nothing is aligning. This one goes next. What's the next thing? In 1957, the Haas foundry introduced Haas grotesque. I'm going to just break it right here, so there's a comma there. Whoops, hello. And then the rest of that statement, designed by Max Mediger. Let's see. Oh, I got a lot in that one. Ooh, that's a long one. Woo! Okay, so I'm going to break for sense because we pause right there. And I got another one. Whee! That's a long statement, isn't it? See how nothing is aligning? But what I'm doing here, because that's all one continuous statement, it's meant to be read together. Actually, this is two. I'm just thinking about how people read. I'm like, okay, we can read that and kind of pause. We can read that, pause a little bit, but not too much because that goes with that. And then we read that, we pause, but that kind of goes with that because it's the same sentence, but it's a pause. And so I'm kind of crowding these together, even though none of them are aligned to one another. See how this is completely random. Oops, that almost is aligned with that. I better grab all three of these and move them over. There we go. Not aligned now. And I could get really crazy with the last statement of this. Let's say this is the last and final statement right here, pretending. That's my last and final statement right there, pretend. I can go, you know what? For fun, we're going to run that last statement, assuming everything flows well. Maybe this type is down here. We read, blah, 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 and you go, whip, ha, ha, look at me, I'm having some fun. Have some fun with this, but break for sense, make sure it reads in order. This is dumb right here because nothing is close by and it just seems like, oh, is that a caption? Oh, is this telling me who illustrated this thing? It needs to be juxtaposed and placed in a way that makes sense. Isn't this fun?
Totally.
And I make it look easy because I've been doing this a long time. So when I'm clicking and dragging and making new text, and clicking and dragging and making new text, they're all linked. And then you'll be like this. You'll be like, oh, darn her, that Rebecca, she makes it look so easy. And you'll go like this, and you'll go, oh, darn it, what just happened? I just click and do that. Or you'll go like this, and you'll go, oh, where'd it go? Ah, crap, what just happened? And you just go like that. Okay?
So when we're doing our own Helvetica, we can do whatever.
Do whatever.
Just make it like as creative as possible.
You do whatever. okay?
Sweet.
As long as nothing is aligned.
And we can use different versions of Helvetica. Like
You
did with
can
bold
use
and thin
bold,
and italic.
gigantic, monstrous, yeah, super heavy. Yeah, the cool thing about Helvetica is it has over 27 or around 27 different options here. These are the styles. That's the typeface. These are the styles. The heavy and the light and the bleak and the thin and the blah, 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 blah. You use as many as you want. I don't care.
Wow.
As long as it reads the right order, breaks for sense, and looks freaking awesome. That's all I'm asking for.
No problem.
That's all anybody really wants in design. It reads well, looks awesome, you know. Okay, I'm going to stop recording now. Yeah, hold on, before I stop. We would want to print this to 11 by 17 because it's a 10.5 inch by 10.5 inch document. You can't fit 10.5 inches wide on an 8.5 wide piece of paper. Impossible.
Does this go with the other fonts as well?
The other one's 8.5 by 8.5, so the other one can be printed to 8.5 by 11, no problem. You guys already know how to do that. This one's special. Okay, let me save this, by the way. Save as. Oh, I'll name it the same thing. Let's see. This was Bilberry, Rebecca. Oh, not comma, underscore. Rebecca, underscore, project 2, part 2. Or you could say project 2 Helvetica. I'll get it. Okay. How do you print this thing? I'd like to cover it now because I'm recording, and then we'll take our break. So how would I would print to the color printer because black and white printer's down right now. File, print. It's one page. We don't have to worry about the double-sided. Oh, look at that preview. What's happening? It says it's going to cut it off. Okay. Don't need to change anything in general except for the actual printer. So this would be the Xerox 7800A or the 7800B. They're the same exact type of printer. To change the paper size, which we definitely need to do, you click Setup. We do not want to print on letter. We want to print on tabloid. We'll cut this down, okay? The only pieces of paper we have in the printer are letter size and tabloid size. So we'll print on an oversized sheet and cut it down. Oh, look, there it is. It's kind of on the tabloid sheet now. It's not really in a good position yet. What we want to do now is put the page position to centered. I wonder if this will cut off our crop marks. It might. I'm going to turn on crop marks. I click on marks and bleeds. That's the third item down here. And I click on crop marks. You don't need bleed marks. It'll just confuse you. Bleed marks, you won't know if you're using crop marks for cutting or bleed marks to cut. It'll still print your bleed without bleed marks. When use document bleed settings is on, assuming you use the bleed and slug area, that's fine. Just leave that. If you forgot, you have to tell it what the bleed is. But you can see in here, it already says the bleed is P9. You already know the bleed is 1/8 inch. We're good there. Because we originally set the document bleed settings when we created the document. I usually check the page setup to make sure that the printer type and the paper type are the same as what I've set in the previous windows. So I'm going to hit OK on the little guy here. Yep, everything's good. And on printer, I don't need to change anything here. I don't need to change double-sided because this is just a one-page document. Okay, so I don't need to hide the details and turn off two-sided printing. But if you want to get in the habit of it, fine. But this is just
printer.
As under printer, hit OK, and you hit hide details, and you can uncheck two-sided printing. But
What's the two-sided print?
you have to hit hide details whenever you. Okay, you hit printer, then OK. Hide details, which is down there, lower left, and uncheck two-sided. I hit print, and I hit print again, and it will tell you this. It'll say, hey, text normally shouldn't be overset. Are you sure you want this? I'm like, yeah, because I'm being a rebel here. See that text right there? It's overset, meaning it goes past places we would normally want it to go. So it's giving us a little warning, but that's okay, assuming you know what you're doing. Like, yeah, that's fine. My text is out there. I know it's off there, falling off.
Mine just moved straight to
Yeah, yours might not have had a text overset. It might. Well, it really isn't about this. It's about. I'll tell you what that's about. It's about this little guy right here. It's
Oh.
yeah, that's small body copy, and it's going, hey, you shouldn't have that outside the margin. That is what it's, and this right here, it's griping about that right there and this right there. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording now, and we'll take a nice 20-minute break because you guys have been so good. And during that break, I will save this recording and try to upload it at the same time.